Greetings and welcome, one and all, to Making Sales Social Live, brought to you by Social Sales Link. I'm Bob Woods, the LinkedIn Sherpa, and I'm joined by fellow LinkedIn and social selling professional, who is also known as the LinkedIn Whisperer, Bryn Tillman. Sup, Bryn?
Hey, Bob. I'm excited to talk about today because we talk often about profile, but this is specifically for thought leaders or people that are aspiring thought leaders. So it's going to be a fun one.
Exactly.
Welcome to Making Sales Social Live, as we share LinkedIn and social selling training, strategies, and tips that will have an immediate impact on your business. Join Bryn Tillman and me, Bob Woods, every week. Making Sales Social Live. This is the recorded version of our weekly Making Sales Social Live show.
As Brent said, you may not realize just how important your LinkedIn profile is to your sales efforts in general. But if your goal is to become the thought leader in your industry, your vertical, however you quantify that for yourself, and by the way, that should be your goal, you need to have a strong LinkedIn profile that attracts, teaches, and engages your audience of sales prospects. So we teased it just a little bit, but talk just a little bit more about the importance of the profile before we get to the elements, Brent.
Let's think about your goal here. If your goal is to be a thought leader, it's not just in your content. It's really your presence all across everywhere, right? Like you want to make sure that you are branding yourself in a way that creates your goal, that leads towards your goal. You know, Bob and I have kind of put together these areas that we need to focus on so that when we do attract someone to our profile from a thought leadership piece of content, we're continuing that consistent message across the board.
Exactly. And we talk about LinkedIn here, but if you're on other socials, obviously you can't do your profiles on other socials like you can on LinkedIn. But if you are on other socials, obviously do what you can there. One of the things that I like to do though is on other socials, if you can put a URL in for your LinkedIn profile, do it there so that you're pushing them over to LinkedIn from those other socials where you can really, really sell your thought leadership there. And then your content that you have, hopefully in your featured section, which, spoiler alert, that's one of the areas we're talking about. We are going to, or you will be able to really, really sell your thought leadership there. So there are 6 main ingredients you need to include in your profile so that you'll gain more traction with members of that audience. Whether that traction comes from more people following you, asking to connect with you, or even people calling or emailing you directly from your profile after they've looked at it, and because your profile is just that chef's kiss, they will want to do that. So with that in mind, let's get into number 1, which I used to have an objection to, but LinkedIn is changing things. My objection is gone once it propagates throughout. And that is creator mode.
The biggest objection that we've had, I believe, that is that it turns from, your button turns from connect to follow.
Right.
And that really is the one negative of creator mode. But if you're a thought leader, that means that you're going to be sharing content on a consistent basis. It means that you're going to be out there engaging on a consistent basis. There are a bunch of things that creator mode gives you that really helps you to show up as a creator or a thought leader. One of them is wherever you're engaging, there is a follow button. They don't have to get, although we're talking about profile, they don't have to go to your profile to follow you. They can do it right from there. You also have access to LinkedIn Live, to audio rooms, to newsletters, all kinds of great stuff. And your profile gets shifted around a little bit so that your thought leadership moves up in the scroll. There are a couple other things, like you can add, I think it's 5 hashtags about what you talk about.
Yep.
That helps. And there's some other stuff too, but talk to me a little bit, Bob, about who do you recommend has creator mode and why do you think thought leaders should have it?
Thought leaders should have it basically for exactly what you mentioned, the features that come along with it. And I do want to talk about the objection that I had that is slowly turning into past tense, because LinkedIn is rolling out an update, and it's one of the slow rollouts, but they're now rolling out something to where the follow button is still there, but then there's another box that appears down below that says if you want to connect directly with this person, you click that.
Ah,
Rolls out, that was the only thing that I thought that LinkedIn did not get right. They are in the process of making it right. Now, you may or may not have this. Again, this is one of the slow rollout things for LinkedIn, so you may not be able to see this yet. But once you do, and once everyone has it, I think everyone should be in creator mode.
I think that's awesome. Well, everyone in any kind of business development role.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and I agree with you. The one thing I want to caution is if you are looking for a job, if you are in job seeking mode, the traditional profile is designed for recruiters to get what they need in a fast scan.
Yep.
If you are in any kind, I agree with Bob, any kind of business development mode, I think creator mode is great because people don't care about your experience or your mission or your passion yet. You want to be able to bring them value. Oh,
Yep.
what does Steve Stevens say?
Steve Stevens says if someone clicks connect with you and you're in creator mode, it should show that they really want to connect with you. Food for thought.
Yeah. So currently you can connect with someone in creator mode. You just have
But
to
it's
go to
hidden.
the more button, right? And so, but most people don't know to do that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a hidden kind of thing. And 85 to 90% of the people don't know that you can connect when someone has the follow button up there instead of the connect
I
button.
love that stat, even though it's probably made up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 86% of the statistics, or it's some weird number like that.
Yeah, right.
The old
86%
funny-
of the statistics are made up. Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
What's our next one?
The banner. So the big graphic that appears behind your head on your LinkedIn profile, that is valuable real estate, just like a banner that is, or just like a billboard on the side of the road. Think of it like that. Not only just to advertise you in general, but you can also swap stuff out. So if you have like an event coming up or something like that, you can change that banner how many times you want to. Nothing is ever chiseled in stone. It's so versatile, and yet so few people out there use that banner space effectively, Brent.
Yeah. I mean, what is the message that you're spreading? Whether it's an event, as Bob mentioned, event coming up, maybe you have a new ebook with a link. Maybe you've published a new book and you want to drive traffic there. This is your billboard. I do recommend that you have a consistent brand, but that message can change. Like our consistent brand is the white brick, right? We see white brick everywhere. Yeah. And me too, right? We try to get that white brick everywhere. That's our brand. And so if you notice, even, as I shift out my banner, I typically will have the white brick as the background with with the logo, but we have that consistency, but I'm typically driving to something new every time or an announcement of something. So I use it as a billboard. I probably change it out every 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it can be that dynamic. Which is
It's
great.
so easy now with Canva too. So
Yep.
if you want to create your own and you go to Canva, they have LinkedIn. I think it's called LinkedIn background photo is the actual template that you'll see in Canva. And it's really a 1:4 ratio. So you could go in PowerPoint and do a rectangle that's 2.5 by 10, or because it's a 1:4 ratio. But go into Canva and play, because this is a great branding opportunity. And if you're a thought leader, you're probably doing lives or webinars. Draw people there.
Billboard. Think of it as a billboard.
Cool.
What would you want on your billboard? Live current stuff that you can promote. Numero 3, is what used to be called the cover story. And now LinkedIn is officially calling it the profile video now. So that is the video that still a lot of people don't even know is available out there. You can create what LinkedIn says a 30-second video. We recommend a 29-second video because LinkedIn is goofy. 29 seconds of whatever you want to say. You can upload that to your profile so that people can click on it and play it. And it's like a welcome message from you, or if you want to deliver a specific message or whatever, that is your way to get in front of people with your voice, with your face, talking, one-to-one ish with them in a way that up until a couple of years ago, you could never do.
That video is so humanizing, right?
Yes.
It really creates this connection. Now, in preparation for today, I spent a couple hours yesterday creating my own LinkedIn profile video. I will be sending it to my team to clean up some, but I really wanted to show you guys how, as a thought leader, you can use this, right? So I have a call to action to go join one of our free LinkedIn content libraries. And, the goal really is, I want to draw people into more of our thought leadership.
Yep.
Right. And so you can certainly use this as giving a tip.
Looking to up your LinkedIn game? The Social Sales Link team has you covered with our LinkedIn Sales Accelerator, a guided social selling program that includes training, coaching, and so much more. Visit socialsaleslink.com/in for more details. Again, that's socialsaleslink.com/in.
A strategy or as a way to draw to additional content. But this really is about connecting. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on my new cover story. Again, I edited this, not my team, so don't hold it against them. And I will clean it up a little bit, but I'd love to hear your thoughts around that.
And I think that it's important to emphasize that, we have a video team, we have a social media team here that we lean on heavily for this type of thing. The thing is, though, you don't really need that. You can just put a camera or put your phone up. Where's my phone? I don't have a visual. Anyhow, you can put that right up there and just talk into it and then just upload it. Make sure that it's 29 seconds. So LinkedIn says it's 30 seconds, but if you go like 30 seconds and 3 frames in, so like 30.03, it will reject it. So 29 seconds is that's where you can be sure that it's going to upload, because otherwise it's a holy mess.
And yes, I've been there.
So
Yesterday, I was at 31.04.
Oh, really?
And I had to speed it up. So it's now, I talk really, really fast. It's 1.15 speed.
That's funny.
That's why I'm like, don't hold this against me. But I'd love for folks to go check it out and see what they think. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thought leadership, representation. Are we on number 3 or 4?
We're on number 4 now. So number 4 is the CTA, or call to action button. So this is one of the things that you need creator mode enabled for it to happen. But what the CTA button does is you can actually put a website up in what we call the top of the fold area. So that's where you have the banner and your headshot and your headline. You can actually have a link there that goes to wherever you want to on the web, which is really cool because you didn't used to have that. LinkedIn is now taking pages from IG and the other socials in giving you that availability.
Yeah, I love this, right? So this goes to our free content library. As a thought leader, everything you do, you want it to really bring it back to your content, because that's the goal, right? The goal is to show up as a thought leader. Now, one thing I just want to mention, and I know we're talking about the profile piece, side note, because we talked a little bit about this title being as aspiring thought leaders. Be careful at what you're defining thought leadership to be. Thought leadership leads people to think differently about their current situation, right? You want to lead them, not push them. This is not pitch, right? This is not, hey, buy my stuff. This is really about adding value. Bob and I talk a lot about the ask offer ratio, right? We're asking them to invest their time in order to consume our content, which includes our profile. So we want to make sure that we've mastered that. So at the end of their invested time, even if it's a minute, they feel like it was a good use of their time, that it wasn't a pitch, that it was valuable and compelling enough that they want to have a conversation conversation with you.
So Melanie has a good question. Melanie always has good questions, but this one is especially good
Sure.
for the topic today. How often should we update our, and Melanie's pushing it back to 28 seconds, 28 to 29 second profile videos? That's a really good question.
Yeah, and I think it depends. There are a couple things. Number one, I would have one evergreen one that you could always put back in. So a standard evergreen, you're driving maybe to a static landing page that they can download an evergreen ebook or something in that world. But just like the banner, if you have an event coming up and you want to draw people there, absolutely temporarily you can switch those out. But I would again stress that soon as that event is over, you switch it back to the evergreen one, because there's nothing more frustrating. And the same with the banner. If you keep it up 5 minutes too long and someone tries to get there and it's over, it doesn't feel as professional as we want it to.
So the next one is one that I think is probably the most powerful out of all of the 6 that we have here. And that is your featured section. And it is more powerful. It's probably the most powerful because in this section, you are directly putting the spotlight on the exact content that is building you up as a thought leader. And it does it in a very visual way. Brenda and I call it the scroll stopper in the profile, because as you're scrolling down the profile, you get like text. And then all of a sudden you get this really graphical looking section, that is just going to make people stop and click into the content. So make sure the content that's in there is showing your thought leadership. It satisfies the ask offer ratio that Bren was just talking about, except it should really be just 100% thought leadership. Should be 100% educational, so that people are learning a lot from you, so that you are building yourself up as a thought leader in their minds.
I love that. Now, my favorite way to use the featured section is to temporarily link in a recent post. When you link that into your featured section, it will actually show how many reactions you have and how many comments you have. So the thought leadership builds on itself. People see, oh, look how much engagement they're getting, right? That adds to that thought leadership. It just does, right? It's a subconscious thing when people see all of that. But you can upload ebooks or documents. Don't do like boring white papers.
Yeah.
But ebooks are really great. And that's a great source of thought leadership. I would say, and Bob and I try to do this in all of our ebooks, where we said 100% content. There is an end page, right?
Right.
There is a back page with a call to action. The call to action could be to more content. It could be to schedule a call with you, and it could be if you're exploring how to do this for you and your company. Let's chat. At the back of a lot of this content, having just that next step call to action is a great thing. Don't try to oversell, but try to get them to the next step.
This is our last one, and this is new. So we're going to end with the new. You can now put in skills specifically in the about section. So these are, like the skills that most everybody puts way down at the bottom of their profile, because you can't move that stuff anymore in the profile. Most people don't get down to the skills. Now, though, if you have this function, because I believe this is still in a slow rollout, so I am not sure if everyone has this yet, but I know
so.
that.
I think
so? Okay.
Yes, everyone that I've talked to in the last few days has it now.
Okay, good. So maybe, just in case you don't, if you don't have it yet, trust me, you will. It seems like most everyone has it though. You can list up to 5 skills that you have in the about section. So those are going to be the same skills that are in the bottom, although you can add even new ones up there if you want to. And I think that that's kind of important too. But these are like LinkedIn recommended or LinkedIn suggestion skills, the suggested skills that it starts off with first, but you don't have to use those. You can put in your own. Yeah.
Yeah, don't use those. And I'll tell you, just for a moment, there's a lot of value in these skills because they're up high and people see them. If, as a thought leader, right, so one of the things you want to put in are the topics that you talk about, but you can also put in keynote speaker or so these top skills, and it's only 5 and it's part of your 50, but think very carefully about, as a thought leader, what is that leading to in business? So, is it training? Is it your, what kind of coach are you? And you can customize these. You don't have to pick the ones off of their drop down. It will also repeat in the skills section too once you add them.
Absolutely.
So can I add a bonus one that I just thought of while we were talking, but not when we were planning?
Bonus. I love it.
Bonus recommendations is a great place for you to show up as a thought leader. So we think always clients that we're looking for recommendations from, but people that have gotten value from webinars we've done, even the free stuff, right? People that have, expressed, man, that was really amazing. Get a recommendation, participated in Melanie's webinar and I really got some clarity around X, Y, and Z. That will help promote you as a thought leader when other people are saying thought leader.
Absolutely. So thanks again for joining us today on Making Sales Social Live. If you're with us live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter right now, we do this every week. So keep an eye out for our live sessions. If you're listening to us on our podcast right now, that means we're recorded to you. But if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button to access all of our previous shows and be alerted to when new ones drop. More info is available at socialsaleslink.com/podcast. We do 2 shows weekly, this one and our Making Sales Social interview series, where we talk with all kinds of leaders and experts in sales, marketing, business, and many other areas, including some you may not necessarily expect. So keep an eye and ear out for those as well. So when you are out and about, make your sales
social. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Don't miss an episode. Visit socialsaleslink.com/podcast. Leave a review down below. Tell us what you think, what you learned, and what you want to hear from us next. Register for free resources at linkedinlibrary.com. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Play. Visit our website, socialsaleslink.com, for more information.